What's up guys, welcome back to another video. It is me, Trash Salsa, and today we're going to be taking a look at my 1975 TG&Y by Champion. It's kind of a weird one, and yeah. So this came out of a trade deal with none other than Bo Mitchell from YouTube, which means you probably know him. I gave him my pen crest for this TG&Y. Now, unless you've been sleeping under a rock, you would have known that already, because I made like 6 videos about that with the pen crest and then this restoration. I mean, a lot of the videos mentioned it. So, anyway, let's get into the fan. This video is a little late. I tried to record this like a few weeks ago and then it didn't go well, so hopefully I don't miss any details, but whatever. So the fan is in sage green, not avocado, because I have an avocado green and sage green, and this fan matches the sage green fan, so it's sage, not avocado. Some people get that confused. There's model H20L3. This is Champion's basic 3-speed metal blade model. It's the H20L3. So there's the, oh yeah, I love this knob. It looks like a top hat. That's great. Oklahoma, whatever. I don't think these fans were sold in the East Coast of the US, because, I mean, I've never seen it. I didn't even know this existed until I saw it online. So, that means I'm probably one of the few people to have this in the entire East Coast, because they were sold mostly in the West. So that means I got a nice piece, considering where I live. It's got the squares. So this fan had to have a modification done. It used to have the top clips here. You could probably see that, and you're probably looking at that. What happened was the back grill, I think, got damaged in shipping, and then I didn't want to damage it anymore because you have to like literally bend the grill out. I didn't want to do that because all it takes is something like this plastic being 50-something years old. It's all it takes is to break. So what I did is I drilled screw holes for the grill and the cabinet in 2 spots. Now you're probably thinking, how did you know where to put the screws? Well, all I did was just match it up with my S223, so that's how that works, because you could see that they align into the back. They're parallel. That was nice. And then these clips, I just bent them inside the cabinet. Because of what it was, there was like a little hole, and then the clip was in front, so I just bent them inside so they're not in the way anymore. And then I went to Ace and got some new screws, which I think this is the first time I mentioned that, so yeah. And the blades have been polished. Although the blades are not the same finish as, let's say, a P23 or anything. So, but the hub looks shinier because it's got a better finish. And there's the Champion thing. See, the reason why this fan is so kind of strange is because most of Champion's TG&Y fans would have said TG&Y on the front. I've actually seen more that had the TG&Y label on the front than I've seen anything like this. You know, when Bo Mitchell had it, I'm like, oh, that fan's kind of weird. He usually would normally say TG&Y in the front. But I like this feature more because let's say that this front grille breaks. Well, this is the same front grille as almost every single Champion that they used at the time. So, with the black and the gold lettering. So if this grille breaks, I have another one, you know? Just find another Champion and boom. Whereas if it said TG&Y, you'd be kind of screwed. Now the back grille also is not proprietary either. So if you buy another Champion, you can swap the grills and you'll never notice the change. So that feature I like. Now the clips on the bottom I kept, and this popsicle stick was here because it was rattling. I kept these here because, I mean, they don't really serve any purpose or harm. So I'm like, I'll just leave them. And then these 2 screws were factory. So that is how that came to be. There's really no information on this fan. Like the bottom, there's no stickers or anything. Really, it's just whatever this says. And then the motor doesn't even have any information either. So it's a pretty secretive fan. And the cord is really short, which is not going to make anything easier. Here's the back. got the serial number. I always thought that looked kind of weird. Here's the motor. It's got some sort of like oddball motor. No one knows who makes it. I certainly don't. The stator is kind of weird and the windings are like square shaped and they just kind of go into each other. So it's this kind of weird. If you want to see more about the motor, just look at the restoration video that I have uploaded. And then this just has the fans, whatever. The only useful information there is it says 2 amps. That's probably the most useful information. And then this thing says Permawick on it. Permawick is who made the bushings, not the motor. So I don't know who makes this motor. Nobody does. I've asked the forums, I've asked other people. Nobody knows. So yeah, it works. And that's all I have to say. It was buzzing and I varnished it and I think it stopped, but yeah. And it's got the weird like USA wires. And then I added a switch bag, I think. I don't think that's original. I think I added that. So that is pretty much the fan for now. And then again, I did the clips. Oh yeah, another thing is this grill, like I said earlier, that was split all the way down. I JB welded it together, so it's pretty good. I might JB weld it again now that a lot of that has had time, plenty of time to dry. It's been a few weeks. But let's turn it back around, which is, this fan's very heavy. And the cord is really short for some reason. Here is high. There is a bit of a startup sound. It's kind of weird, but you'll see what I mean. There's that. This fan has ran overnight before on low, so that's one little thing it did. Yeah, the startup sound is kind of strange, and the motor does hum while it's running. And if you notice, the speeds don't really have too much variation between them. So curious, I put this on the kilowatt meter just to see what it's drawing from the outlet. And between speeds, it only changes on 0.2 amps between speeds. So from low to high, it just goes 0.2 amps up per level. So that's why it's very weak, because the differentiation is literally almost nothing. But yeah. Or is like a Westinghouse motor, like high speed will maybe like 2.4 amps, and then medium is like 1.8 or something. Like it's a 0.6 amp difference, and that's why you can see the difference between high and medium on like a different motor, right? Whereas this is very low variation. That probably tells me this motor is either kind of weak or something like that. Because like Westinghouse motors or whatever, the more powerful motors seem to have the better variation. But who cares? So that is basically that. The startup sound is kind of weird. The blades are like whistling when you turn the fan on. It's not the motor, because I did a blade swap. I don't know if I uploaded it yet, but I did a blade swap with this on the 47, and you can see the difference. Like, this makes like a weird whistling sound when it starts up. It's kind of strange, but I like it. See if I can get that startup sound though. It's a little hard to hear, so I don't know if the camera picks it up, but whatever, we'll find out. Here is high. And the motor does have a bit of a whine to it, but it's a very low-pitched whine, almost like the Manning Bauman. It's got that weird, like, you know. The spin down is kind of weird as well. It used to be better, and then it was worse, and now it's better. So I don't know what's going on. Anyway, I'll just do start up on low, because that's the only other interesting speed. Yeah, that fan is really heavy. I want to say that's like probably 16 plus pounds. But another thing you have to think of is like, it's on the dresser. So it's like, I'm trying to turn it around while I'm standing up, which is not making anything easier. Anyways, I think that's all I have to say about this fan. If you guys enjoyed this video, then I'll see you guys in the next one. If you want to see more about this fan, then I have the restoration video, which is literally 36 minutes of just this fan. I don't know why it's so long. I actually don't remember, but why don't you go find out. See you guys in the next one.